Diaz, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking trap addict. Bye. In a menudo style and direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button thing. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support. We're going up on this channel. It's all because of you. And for that, I'm very humbled and very appreciative. So, Dubs. Orderly, that's my homeboy Dubs. But everybody's mad at him. He can't get a fair shake around this camp. It seems like social media, everyone's talking about Dubs. I remember when it used to be me. Man, I felt like every little step I take, we will be. The trolls were on me. People were on me. I had homeboys on me. No diddy, right? Motherfuckers were on me like, hey, any little thing I said, it's a lie. It's this, it's that. I felt like I couldn't get a fair shake. And now it's Dubs' turn. It's his time, right? But it seems more so directed to him from the brothers out of all people, right? Who usually give people a fair shake. You know, I'm going to keep it respectful when I say, man, I got a lot of respect for the black and brown movement, for the brothers, period, man. Sometimes, though, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and it might hurt hearts, but it's fucking what it is. Some peoples don't like to hear the truth, or don't like to hear someone's perspective, or find reasons or ways to basically call people out on what they believe is bullshit because it's not fitting their narrative or fitting what they're feeling about their people. Now, first and foremost, somos Mexicano. I'm Mexican. I'm always going to be Mexican. I ain't going to be nothing but Mexican. Doesn't mean I don't like a black chick or a white chick from time to time when the wind's blowing, but I'm always going to be brown. So I'm always going to be for my people first and foremost, as everybody should. If you're black, you're always going to have a stance defending your people righteously. White, well, the woods are like, oh, we don't give a fuck, brother. Right or wrong, give us coffee. That's it, right? So everyone's going to defend their people, and ain't nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's what you're supposed to do. If you're asked backwards and you're disrespecting or talking shit about your own people, I don't know what, you need a Mike Jack and beat it. Okay? Definitely. So Dubs is Mexican as well. He's a Southern Mexican. He's from Southern California. I'm from Northern California. How the fuck did that shit happen, right? That we're friends, but it happened. Okay, because we're no longer gang related, or at least I'm going to speak for myself. I no longer function like that. I'm not involved in that. I'm a family man. I'm a father. Okay, I've moved on in life. And I believe Dubs, after doing a life sentence, has moved on in his life and is trying to do the right thing by his child and also by his family and himself, first and foremost. You can't get right with your family if you can't get right with yourself, right? You need to put your shit together before you can go in there and build some shit. So building relationships with our families, that's what we want to do. You know, if we can help the next man in any capacity, we try. If we can't, well, fuck you then. That's just how it is. Can't help no one that don't want to help themselves. But lately I've been noticing Dubs, the brothers is on him. One in particular is Chill from 16 Alive. Now, let me tell you guys something about Chill. About 2 years ago, I was chilling at home, relaxing, doing my thing, right? And I got a phone call from Dubs. And he was like, hey, do you watch Chill 16 Alive? I said, I've seen his videos. I don't really watch them. But, you know, it's a brother doing some prison content. I respect it, you know. He said, oh, that's a solid dude. That's a good dude right there. He done a lot of time. And he only spoke highly of Chill. And he was like, something had happened. I forget. Man, it's been so long. But he was like, hey, we're putting together some of the YouTube content creators. I want to ask if you want to participate. We're putting together some type of... It was like a Merry Christmas video for Chill. I don't know if he was going through some things, some family things. I don't know. You know, I forget the exact specifics on it. But I said, sure, man, no doubt. So I remember doing my little video part of it. Dubs organized this whole thing and was putting it together to send to Chill. Basically, it was like a Merry Christmas thing for whatever reason, right? Again, that's a brown man from Southern California doing that for a black man. He didn't have to. He chose to. Okay, he wasn't asked to do anything. That's very unprejudiced, unracist, unbiased, if you ask my opinion, right? And again, man, another content creator by the name of Chinaman, Damian Porter, who did time in the Youth Authority with Dubs, actually got into it with Dubs in the Youth Authority because back then, man, you fight with whoever you fight with. You get off where you're mad at. And Dubs was constantly on the phone. Hey, Chinaman's calling me, helping him make thumbnails, helping him with his channel. Just this morning, he got a phone call from Damian Porter, man, and is trying to help him out, right? Again, a brown man from Southern California helping out a black man. And it goes both ways. Don't get it twisted, man. There's a lot of brothers, man, that help as well. You know, I've had brothers help me out in YouTube content creation and all that. So the love is there. The respect is there. We are not in prison anymore. We don't have to follow certain politics. We don't have to let the next man dictate our program and can't talk to each other or function with each other or program with each other, because guess what? There is no fucking program but the program you make on the streets. That's real knowledge you can't get in college, right? The people that still try to play prison, and that's why I always have in my background, it's not on there today, but I usually have stop playing prison, are the guys that are institutionalized and just can't shake that tail. You're on the streets now. Homie, if you're hungry, go to Jack in the Box, eh? It's just right there, right? You don't need to ask someone's permission to cook a sopa. Just make it. It's cool, man. Or in fact, don't even make a sopa. Get a steak, baboso, right? That's just real. But there's a lot of people that still try to play prison politics on the streets. Still try to act like that the enemigos are this and we can't talk to these people, or these people think they're better than us or whatever. And that shit is played out. Dubs has been getting a lot of ridicule on it because he tells prison stories. He's in the prison content genre. There's going to be people that like his stories and there's going to be people that don't. But I've been noticing lately, anything Dubs says, or even I say, gets looked at with a magnifying glass. Several videos are made on it. People are trying to somehow decipher how we're not giving, and I'm going to speak specifically, the blacks, the benefit of the doubt. Now, Dubs gets it worse than me, and I'm going to explain exactly why this is happening. I'm from Northern California. There's this big myth that the blacks and the northerners run together in prison. That's false. Okay? They don't. In fact, I'll tell you guys the truth. I've had more beef with the brothers, with blacks in my life, in and out of prison, than any other race, any other ethnicity, whatever you want to call it. That's a fucking fact. That's the truth. That doesn't mean I hate every black man because of it. That just means that's what it was. Usually when you program side by side next to someone, when you're in close proximity, you tend to bump heads a little bit more than others, right? I've had more arguments, fights, all that with blacks than I have had with whites or southerners. Why? Because they were on a whole different side of the yard. It just is what it is. Now, there's been this thing going on for several years with southerners, Southsiders, Mexicans from Southern California, and blacks. And yes, best believe they were blasting each other back in the days. There were green lights. There was a lot of animosity. There was a lot of tension. There always has been. In Northern California, there's not been tension like that. On an individual hood basis, yes, my hood didn't get along with some Crips. It just was what it was over whatever it was, what it was, right? But at the end of the day, we didn't target all blacks. See, the difference between Northern and Southern California was if we had beef with one particular group, whether it's Crips, Damus, Kumis, or whoever, that was who it was beef with. And it was on funk on site. Get off where you're mad at. Both ways, right? No Diddy when I say both ways, because he does it differently. But with Southern California, it was pretty much a black and a brown thing. Every black can get it and every brown can get it. And unfortunately, that's just the way Southern California was back then. It's not like that now. There's still neighborhoods like Tortilla Flats that don't get along with certain Pyru sets or Crips or whatever the case may be. That's their own personal city shit. They're doing that for whatever they're doing that for, right? Now, Dubs is from Southern California, so I think the reason he gets a lot more hate than I do, he gets looked at more closer, and everything gets reanalyzed and dissected, is because he's from Southern California. Because I think certain brothers feel that a Southsider or a Southerner, a Mexican from down south, should not be speaking ill about the blacks or even speaking on black business, period. But let me tell you something. Just the other day, Chill from Southern California made a video about Hector Bravo, about the prison guard, and about how his disrespect of the paisas was unwarranted and untrue, okay? Again, that's a Mexican man with an opinion on his own people, and a black man interjected to make a video on it. No harm, no foul. He's a content creator. He could talk about whatever he wants. It was prison related. He's a prison content creator. Get your money, Chill. Why not, right? But lately I've been seeing the decline in his channel. And I'm going to explain to you. I also had a decline in my channel. I was going through a rough patch. I was depending on something that didn't come through, and I took my foot off the pedal. And it went all bad for a while. You know, there was a lot going on. A lot of people fell off for whatever reason. And my channel started to decline. And hard work, effort, consistency whatever it was helped me build my channel back to over 100K. I appreciate all the support, right? And I'm going to keep it pushing. You know, I didn't take no for an answer. I just kept going and going and going and working hard. Hard work pays off. Now, I noticed a little bit of a decline in Chill's channel for a while until he started making these videos talking about dubs and angling towards dubs, and even myself. Now, it's crazy because I could say things and I could be blunt and straight up because that's the way I am. And I'm not into hurting feelings, but if your feelings get hurt, then you're not built for tough, right? Straight up, you're not a man to me. You're a woman, and you're emotional. And to me, if I say something about the blacks, I'm telling you from my perspective what it was. I'm not doing it to be racial. I'm not doing it to downplay another ethnicity, because believe me, I was with a black chick the other night and it was fucking spectacular, right? So I'm not here to say we're better than or we're less than. I'm here to say social status of equality. I believe everybody goes through their hardships and everybody goes through their good times. It just is what it is, man. That crying, that fucking feel sorry for me, that we have it worse than you on every side. Stop it already. Okay? Everyone's had it bad. Everyone's had it good. Your life is what you make of it. You know, do the black man go through some struggles? Fuck yeah, they do. Do the brown man go through some struggles? Fuck yeah, they do. And guess what? Here's a news flash. Bingo was his name-o. We go through a lot of the same struggle. Okay? We are both considered minorities by the majority, and we go through a lot of the same bullshit. And instead of going at each other's throats and constantly trying to compete on who's better, who's less, who's harder, who's cleaner, who could fight better, man, why don't we all look at each other and say, how can we uplift and how can we invigorate this culture we got, man? Stick to our culture and show love for others. That's real talk. Now, when I see Chill make these videos, he made a video about the Hector Bravo situation, and Dubs did not even bring up the black man. I said bling, bling. See, I said almost bling up. Lil Wayne, he's a brother. I fuck with it, right? He didn't even bring up the black man. He brought up other groups. Hector brought up the black man. And of course, Dubs decided to, you know, give his input. And you got to understand, as a Southerner, as Dubs being a Southerner from Southern, I'm not here. I know people are, oh, he's trying to defend Dubs, and not. He's my friend. Hey, right is right, wrong is wrong. If he was wrong, I'd tell you guys straight up, I don't agree. Okay? But when I hear Dubs speak about the black men, he doesn't disrespect them. He calls it for what it was. And so what if you don't win every fight? So what if your fucking group is not number one that particular day? It doesn't mean you're a sucker or a punk. It just means that's the story that was told that day and you didn't win. You know, a lot of us content creators tell a lot of stories, man. I know me, myself, I'm very transparent with my stories, and I talk about the L's I take, because if I was just talking about the W's, who would fucking believe me, right? There was a lot more W's than L's, but I'm going to speak on the L's as well, because that's what real men do. They're not scared to be real. Real men do real shit. We're on men time, not kid time. When your group or you or your people or your gang or your hood is always number one, and it's good to have pride, but you never take an L. This is fake. This ain't right. Come on now. Stop it, man. No one's going to believe that shit after a while. Everybody has their flaws. Everyone has their good points. Chill did a video. It was about, I'd say a month or two ago, where he talked about knife play on the yards. Shanks, pieces, pedazos, whatever you want to call them, right? And he talked about, man, how the brothers, you know, they don't be using too many knives. They're down to use knives. Don't trip. But they don't be using too many because they're trying to go home. They ain't trying to get caught up, you know? And how the Mexicans are a little bit different. This came out of Chill's mouth. I remember seeing that video like, damn, he told the truth on that one. Now, he wasn't downplaying his people, and I'm not downplaying his people, but this is the fucking facts here. This is what Dubs tells you, and all of a sudden he's racist. And I think the only reason he gets pointed out more so him than me is because I'm from Northern California, and there's this myth that blacks and Mexicans are together in Northern California, and Southerners and blacks are against each other all the time. They hardly get into it on the yard. They do more business together than anything. That's the fucking truth. I've seen the Southerners fight with the whites more than I've seen anything. I see more Southerners. Look, truth is, we all kill our own people. Blacks on blacks, whites on whites, Mexicans on Mexicans. No Diddy. It's the fucking truth. Diddy on everyone. Right? It's the fucking facts. But here's the truth. In prison, there's politics. Whether you like them or not. They've been there before you. They're going to be there after you. And they're in place for certain reasons. You need structure. You need guidance. You need people that are just like you to say, hey, homie, this is where we sit. This is where we stand. This is what we do. I know it sounds funny, and to people that have never been in that prison life, they don't understand it, but it just is what it is. Imagine going into a prison with a whole bunch of killers and not having no place to fucking eat or sit or stand or walk a track. You're going to be in trouble. And that's when people are going to take advantage of you because they have numbers. So that's why it was implemented and put in place politics to calm down the tensions between different ethnicities and different people that prey upon other people. Just is what it is. Now, with the blacks, I'll tell you this straight up. They want to go home. They are street gang members or non-affiliates or Muslims or Damus or Kumis or Crips or Bloods. And their whole thing is when they go to prison, they're not trying to stay there forever. They don't have to ask permission from anyone to do anything. They can go to whatever yard they want to go to. It's a lot more laxed politic-wise in certain groups. Not all. You know, I've seen some Southern California Crips men that are hard, structured up. They go hard on their people, right? They want to be up to par and ready for war at all times. I've seen some Kumis the same way, Damus as well. But then I've seen yards where individuals are more lax and it's like, man, they're just trying to get by. They just want to go home. So they don't want to get involved in the mix. They don't want to do something. See, perfect example is this. Say a removal needs to happen. Say a brother comes on the yard that has a bad case, okay? And to not hurt no feelings, we're going to talk about everyone, right? But just for instance, a brother comes on the yard and he has a bad case. Who's going to whack him? Who's going to say, hey, we need to whack this guy. His paperwork is bad. Someone's going to have to do something. You got the Southern Crips. Now, I know, of course, if Chill makes a video, he's going to say, well, it depends on what car he's in. They're going to handle their business. Absolutely. But who's going to tell them that they need to do it? Who's going to tell them, hey, tomorrow you need to go out with a piece and handle your business? They're all independent. They're all their own men. So no one's going to tell them. They have to take it amongst themselves to handle their business. Okay? When it comes to North or South, if there's a weirdo on the yard or someone with bad paperwork, guess what happens? You're going to be told, homie, hey, this needs to be handled by this yard time. These guys are going to handle it. Pick up your pieces. And there's guys raising their hands North and South. They can't wait to earn their stripes. See, here's the difference in mentality right here. And not to say one's right or one's wrong, but this is going to dispel a lot of the bullshit. You know, I hear a lot of people say, oh, the brothers don't check paperwork or the brothers don't do this. Or the brother, you're full of shit. You've never been to prison then. You don't know what it is. Okay? The structure is different. Like I said, who's going to tell that black man that he has to stab another black man? Ain't no one going to tell him shit. That's why there's a lot less killings. That's why there's a lot less stabbings, because motherfuckers are trying to go home. See, the brothers go in with the mentality, I'm in for whatever, and I'm just trying to go home, man. Do my time and get up out of here. I ain't trying to stick around with a whole bunch of dudes. They're trying to get on. Whereas a Mexican's mentality is a little bit different. You go in, especially Northerners and Southerners and Bulldogs as well. You go in with the understanding that you're not going home. That you must defend your household, defend your people, and that you're probably going to get more time and not go home. Imagine living like that. Imagine knowing that this is what you signed up for. This is what's going to happen. Of course, unless you PC up or do whatever you do. But this is probably what's going to happen. If you want to participate and be part of the crowd, you're going to be a part of the crowd. You're going to show. And every Southerner and every Northerner must do a pegada. It's mandatory. Your time's going to come. It might not be today or tomorrow, but it's going to come eventually. There's a lot of brothers that go to prison and don't have to do that because there's no one telling them they have to do that. It doesn't mean they're not hard or they don't hold it down for their own. They're just got different politics. That's it. So when Dubs speaks on this stuff and says it, automatically he's being racist, or automatically he's prejudiced, or automatically he's trying to make his people look better than all. Who doesn't make their people look better? I've had conversations with Dubs where he talks about doing time with Northerners or Bulldogs or whatever the case may be. And there's always going to be that Southern dominance there. Just like when I talk about my people, there's always, even though we're not part of that, or I'm not part of that anymore, there's still always going to be that love, that burning flame, that canalismo you have for your people. You don't want your people to look bad. But if you're a real man and you're a real ex-convict, then you admit when shit was all bad and when shit was all good. It's real talk, man. You know, every different content creator, prison content creator, and I guess I'm in that box, right? We all have different perspectives, and that's why it's good to watch the Blacks videos, the Browns videos, North, the South, the everyone, because you're going to get a different perspective, and it's up for you, the viewer, to decide what you want to take for it. But the people that cry and make it into a racial thing, if their people didn't win that day, and I've heard it on every side, black, brown, green, and white, right? If they say, oh man, I heard a guy go off on Dubs. Oh, why you guys got to do the white man like that? Because the white man got done like that day. The next day, the white man got off and they did the brown man like that, right? I've heard brothers say, oh man, you're racist, man. But when the blacks talk about, hey, Southerners this and Southerners that, they never say, hey, bro, that ain't right. When I see someone wrong that's brown, I'm going to check them, or I'm going to say, no, I call bullshit. That's just me. I think Dubs is getting a lot of misplaced hatred and bullshit, man, for nothing. And I think it's because he's from Southern California. And I think a lot of people believe in this mystique or this myth that all Southsiders hate blacks and all blacks hate Southsiders. It ain't like that, man. It ain't never been like that. You go in there, you conduct your business professionally, you do what you fucking got to do. You don't hate a man because you ain't that man. I don't see Southsiders hating the blacks and blacks hating Southsiders just because they're black or they're brown. There got to be a personal reason, and business is business. You already know when you go what you signed up for. When you go into prison, hey, them are the enemies on the other side. It is what it is. It was like that before you got there. Don't ask why, because they're not going to fucking tell you, because there's no explanation. You just do what you got to do. So when I see Chill making these videos, I think he's doing it for two reasons. And my utmost respects goes to Chill, because that man did time. He did time. He was in CMC for a long time. And I mean, I could sit here and I could talk shit about CMC and say, hey, CMC was a bad yard from way back in the days. But again, it doesn't matter, because the brothers function wherever they want to function and do what they want to do. Their politics are different from Brown's politics. And I've heard Chill say it many a times. We're allowed to go to whatever yard. It's not even allowed. They just go where they go. Mexicans are not. Once you become gang related and involved, you have people to answer to. It's just what it is. It doesn't mean you're not your own man, because at the end of the day, you make the final decision, the final call. It just is up to you on what call you're going to make. But as far as Dubs getting all this hate, I mean, fuck. Where was this hate at years ago, man, when he was showing love? Is his name being used? And like I said, I think Chill's doing it for two reasons. One, for views, because, man, Dubs' names rings bells and any controversy sells. We all know that. He just did a video the other day. We always win. Right? Everyone wins off the views when there's drama. Or another thing, man, there really is some underlying, not hatred is not that's too strong of a word, but a dislike. If you say, hey, Dubs, why are you bringing up blacks? Why you have to bring up blacks? I mean, you did a whole video about Mexicans, about a Mexican talking about Mexicans. So what's the difference? I've heard a lot of brothers say a lot of bad things about Mexicans. I've heard a lot of Mexicans say a lot of bad things about brothers. Uncalled for. I heard blacks say, oh, the Southsiders are allowed to snitch on them. Are you fucking out of your mind? Do you know that if a Southsider fucking doesn't work out or doesn't do something right, he gets whacked? So if he snitched on a brother, man, there's no secret squirrel fucking ninja shit that says, oh, you can tell on blacks, it's all good. If you're a snitch, you're a snitch, no matter who you told on. Period. And it just trips me out how I get a lot of love from the blacks. Yeah, Gun, I fucks with you, but I don't fucks with Dubs. Why? What's the difference? We have the same philosophies and the same get down. Oh, is it because he's from Southern California and you automatically assume that there's tension there? I'm here to tell you there isn't. I've seen more brothers stomping out more brothers than anything. I've seen more Southsiders getting off on Southsiders than anyone. It just is the truth. The North thing, we're not even going to go there. There's barely any Northerners left. They've whacked each other so much. So with that being said, I want to send a message out to Chill right now, man. I understand the get down, but really, my brother, it's always been all respect. It's going to continue to be respect. I got nothing bad to say about you, where you've done your time, who you've done your time with, what your status is. None of that means anything to me. The only thing that means something to me, man, is keeping it respectful and telling truths. And if you don't like the truths that are being told out there, or you don't like someone else's perspective, you could do it in a respectful manner, agree to disagree, but you don't got to automatically assume someone is being racial because they're not the same skin tone as you. I have never fought a man because of the color of his skin tone, ever in my life. I don't think Dubs has either. We've only fought people because they pose a threat to our safety and security, no matter what fucking color you are. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people, I push that black and brown. You already know what it is, man. It's always love with the gun, but it's a trip when it's, oh, you're racist. You're a racist. A racist of what? You know, I got a big ass dick too, so I'm winning. The gun.